Hello, She Sells Girlies. In this episode, Scott and I dive deep into the word scam. Is this a scam? How do you know? What are the things that you can do to navigate that? And how to handle that objection in a live sales call. Enjoy. Well, we'll just say that.
It's episode 2 of the relaunch.
Episode 2 of the 10 million we've tried to film.
Yeah. So episode 2 of the relaunch.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. We're back.
Yeah, this one's gonna be a goodie.
This is gonna be a banger. It's actually pouring down with rain outside, so what better a day to just record a podcast?
I'm all like snug in my corner. I feel like,
yeah.
But we are actually conversing because
we are conversing. Afterwards. All right. Well, let's.
So okay, I need to start with the story.
Yes.
So guys, the other day we went to Perth for a week. We're going to take a little holiday.
Yeah.
So we went to Perth and I don't know. I love Perth as in like it's always going to be our home. And I obviously I love seeing family and
family is amazing.
Every time I go to Perth, it sucks the entrepreneur spirit out of me. And whenever I'm flying home, I'm just at my weakest point, I feel.
Yep.
This is absolutely nothing against anyone from Perth. Like, we absolutely love you. It's just the Perth mentality is what really, for instance, I bumped into an old friend in Perth and she was like, when are you moving back and buying a house and settling down? Like, are you done with your little thing? Your little thing. Yeah. And it's just that.
Yeah.
It's just not. Yeah, I don't know. And it's so funny when you actually think about it because I've just never felt like I fit in Perth. I've just always felt like I haven't, it's
a misfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I think that's probably one of the reasons why we're here now, though, right?
Exactly.
And we're not there anymore.
Yeah. So anyway, that's not even the story. I just wanted to pre-frame what I was about to say. So that happened, got back to Bali, started to recharge, but it's slow. You know, it recharges you, but it takes a good week to get back into the swing of things. So in this week, I had a really, I had a guy that I went to school with. He commented on one of my posts and he was like, this sounds like it's a pyramid. Now, he caught me in a really weak moment. Like I said, just got back from Perth, recharging. And so I was like, oh, hell no, it's on. So we went back and forth arguing about this for days, not hours, days. It just went on and on and on. He had his own little posse group of whom I also went to school with. So I knew everyone who was doing this. And I was like, what's really sad to me about this is they know me. They don't know me, but they know me. And the fact that they thought that I was ripping people off and scamming them, I honestly couldn't move past it. It was I
also under for no reason, really.
Literally none.
Just other than that they saw some of your ads.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And also, I think for a bit of context is randomly this guy's had it out for you for a period, right?
Oh, there was another time, which we don't need to go into, but there was another time he had a go at me for asking mums whether I had mastitis or so. It was something to do with breastfeeding, and he just got in my ear about you shouldn't be posting. He's a doctor, by the way. So just for some context. Anywho, so we spent hours going back and forth. And I want to talk about it. Because that is most of the hate comments that I get is this is a scam, scam. That's how it feels. And I now I just laugh because I'm I feel sorry for those people. I genuinely do. They're so plugged into the matrix. They have no idea about what's happening around them in this world online. They have no idea because to them it's I need to go to uni and get a job and buy a house and pay my taxes. That to them is what you should be doing. And you have to be in that box. And if you're not in that box, you are scamming people.
Yeah. And I can kind of understand where he's coming from, right? Because you've gone through maybe, 10 years of study to get what's, a prestigious job, which is being a doctor. I think it was that he is, all right? Yeah. And for people to be able to go through and earn a similar level of income within a matter of months it's like I would have a chip on my shoulder if I saw that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I tell the story, I've worked with, you know, an 18-year-old kid that in his second month made $56,000 US in a month. Like that's probably a lot more than what most doctors would make, right? In maybe like for a starting doctor as well, like in a year, maybe, I don't know.
What, 56 grand?
Well, that's about Australian, maybe 70 something K, 75, 80 K.
I think they're on a bit more than that, but like regardless, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I get it. Like I get where that would come from. It's like, hey, like you would get agitated by it because it's like, no, like I've worked so hard for this.
Yeah. Yeah. So like you know, a lot of those comments and things are gone now because I just did the thing that I should have done from the very beginning and just blocked the noise. Because here's the thing, you're always going to have people that want to pull you down. Like all the time. There's people that are judging you. There are people that want to pull you down because you're doing something different. And it's like, God, no, you need to be down here with the rest of us kind of thing.
Yep.
It's like, I get that. And if you had caught me on any other day, I would not have fed into that and bought into it. But what I feel like people forget is like, if you read something a bunch of times, eventually your brain starts to believe it, even if it's not true. You know, so every morning when I wake up and I read you're a scam artist or like you're ripping people off, like I don't think it's getting to me, but like it may. And like I want to talk about this and be so transparent and real because like for a long time, I would not own my label as a salesperson. I didn't want to be associated with sales. Like I would literally lie. Like if I was filling out, I mean, God, even little forms like when you're flying back into Australia and they give you that immigration card, and it's like, what's your occupation? I would write teacher.
Yeah.
And I was holding on to this attachment to what I thought people would think of me if I was a teacher.
Yeah, like yes.
Like I'm so like I'm noble.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. What's the word? Like a.
Yeah, you're doing your bit for like...
Yeah, society.
Yep.
There's a word that I'm thinking of, but I can't think of it.
You've got a degree behind you.
Yep.
Like you're an educated human being.
Yep, I'm kind. Yep. I like, that's what I associate.
Ticking the boxes of like normality. Like boom, she's like, boom.
Yep.
She's ticked it.
Because of the way sales is perceived and still perceived, I would say to a certain extent, I then was like, right, if I start saying that I'm in sales, people are going to think of me as manipulative, as like pushy.
Yeah. Like literally standing in the shopping center being like, yo, like come here. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Which it isn't.
No. And like.
It couldn't be further from it.
Exactly right. And so like you know, they say your brain looks to justify what you believe. Mm-hmm. So if you think somewhere buried in your subconscious, or if you have a limiting belief around what sales is, your brain will find examples to prove it to you. So I had to do some work. Off the back of those comments. I was like, whoa, okay, this is deeper than what I think. Like what is coming up for me? And I think it was my experience with multi-level marketing.
Yes.
I don't really think I've processed that and taken the lessons that I needed to from that experience. So when I got the comments, like this is a pyramid, it just took me straight back to being in network marketing, losing a bunch of friends, selling in a really icky way because I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And then I started to spiral. I was like, oh my God, does everyone think of me like this? Oh my God, like are people talking about me? Like that the whole spiral.
You know what's actually really interesting about that, right? Because like, I mean, we're talking about the topic of scam.
Yeah.
But like when you were in multi-level level marketing, because I didn't even know that world existed, right?
Yeah.
Until I met you. Mm-hmm. But even when you were like telling me about it, it was like you actually genuinely believed in it.
Yeah.
You did, because you did it and you got results from it.
Yeah.
So like, even though people are like, hey, it's scammy, like for you, it was like, it got you results and then you were trying to get other people to get results.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's not the products that are scammy.
It's the way people do it.
It's the way, it's the big emphasis you have on like making other people sign up.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they have a problem at all. It's just like, hey, you need to buy this so that I get paid. And then the person above that person gets paid. And
it's the intent behind it.
Yeah, it's just like I have absolutely nothing against network marketing at all. Like I have a lot of network marketers within She Sells, like who are just trying to learn to sell better, which I think is incredible. The problem that I have with it and still have with it is the way that I showed up in that space. I didn't like, it was very icky. And like there was things that I did that I was told to do to get myself further ahead in the company. But it was false. It was lies. It was deception. I honestly I didn't like it. And I didn't close the chapter on that properly. I just ran away from it. I ran away from everything. Like I literally, and I speak about this, you know, I had the top of my upline is what it's called. She's multimillionaire. I'd won a competition, not fairly, by the way. I didn't win it fairly. I made up customers and like, which I was told to do. I was just doing what I was told. But I won it. I had a whole pantry full of like this product as well. And I was just like, wow, okay. And she had bought me tickets to go to Dallas.
Yeah.
And like she had bought them. I had the tickets and I was meant to be flying out and it was my sister's 21st. And I just didn't want to go. I just had like a click in my mind. It was like, whoa. I kind of like fell from the clouds a little bit and like landed back in earth, like in reality with my family who were like, hey, we're still here. And like, you're just in a gaze all the time. Like you just always want to talk about like sales and like this product. And so I just like ran away from it. I just emailed her saying I'm not coming. And I didn't deal with it. I just like ran. And so like when this came up, it just was a trigger for me to process that and actually close the door on that and realize that sales doesn't have to be like that. Yes, I had a bad experience, but it wasn't a bad decision.
Yes.
It made me realize like I want to be free. Back then, that was like far out than before I knew you, Scott. So like that was like 20, oh my God, I want to say 2014, maybe even less, maybe even younger.
Yeah.
And so like I've had this entrepreneurial like spirit for so long since I was young.
Yeah.
And so like I need and I am aggressively owning that label now. I fight for it because I believe in it. I believe in She Sells. I believe in our mission. I believe in our values and I believe what we're doing.
Yes.
So now I am an absolute advocate for sales and I will fight for it, which is what I did in those comments. So yes, it lowered my status by feeding into it, but I will fight for what I believe in. If that was me 10 years ago and he was arguing about network marketing with me, he would have been right. He would have been right.
Yeah.
But not this time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really interesting, right? Even like, so, because you come across this in sales interactions, right? Like, is it a scam with anything? Not just what we do. Like, I've sold on a number of different accounts across many different industries. And it is always still, some people just like go to, because like, it's such an easy out. You know what I mean? It's such an easy way to be like, things are getting a little bit like scary. Like I'm not comfortable, hit the escape button, scam button, the big red button, scam, right? So, I mean, that's an objection.
For sure.
So let's go into it.
Yeah. I also just want to touch on that though, because unfortunately there are a lot of scams.
They're not actual scams.
The online is like the wild, wild west. It really is like far out. Even with AI now, like they can make things look so legit. So like it's a fair, please don't get me wrong. It is a fair like thought and belief to have, particularly if you've been scammed.
Yeah.
It makes sense that you have walls up and guards up and, you know, like around it. So I get it. I do. But it also can be an objection.
Yeah. And the thing that, okay, a little bit controversial. The thing that really gets me, right, is that people don't want to admit that they failed at something. So it's so easy to be like, it's a scam.
Oh, yeah.
It's always so interesting. So like part of my process that I would follow, and this is what I help train our ladies on as well, is like there's a certain part where it's like, hey, you know, have you been out there trying to figure out and find ways so that you can actually achieve what it is or prevent how you're feeling, whatever it is, right? And like, what have you done? And a lot of the time people are like, oh yeah, I've done this and I did that and I did that. And it's like, okay, how did you go? It's like, nah, you know, it didn't work. I thought it was a scam. It's like, okay, so when you went through this, like other people that were going through, were they getting results? And it's like, yeah, they were. There were some people that were getting results. So, okay, so what do you think was different between the people that got results and yourself? It's like, well, you know, they were telling me to do this and I just couldn't do it because it was so busy. And then like, I couldn't be bothered doing this whole thing. And they start to explain the fact that they didn't do the steps required to be successful.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, okay, so have you ever thought that maybe it wasn't that it was a scam and maybe that it didn't work? Have you ever thought that like maybe you just didn't execute on it? Yeah. Right? Same with people that go and do diets. Hey, I tried keto. It didn't work for me. You tried it for 2 weeks. Okay, maybe you try it for 2 years and see how that goes.
Yeah.
Right? It's like no one wants to be like, hey, I fucked up. I didn't do it properly.
Yeah, they don't take ownership.
Yeah, I didn't.
Sure.
I only ate keto for like 2 days and then I would like blow out for 3 days and then I get back on. So like, hey, I just didn't do it very well. So why it didn't work for me. Unfortunately, it's like, boom, scam button gets pressed, right? So it's like, that's something that we have to take into account as well. It's actually very rare, like, that people actually really will fully get scammed, where they will like pay money to something and like go through an entire course to realize, oh shit, there's actually nothing here, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sometimes people will do things and it's not what they thought it was. That's reality as well, okay? But it's very rare that you actually get scammed. Like a scam is like someone like swindles you for your money. They take the money and run. Like that's a scam, right?
Like Paul.
There's a right, there you go, right? If you're in crypto, you know exactly what's going on.
Yeah. Well, like I think it's so easy in the online world to label just anything as a scam.
100%.
Like if people like to throw that word around like it's nothing, like that's a scam,
Yeah.
that's a scam, that's a scam, she's a scam, he's a scam, whatever. You just
The
hear
funny
that word
thing
all
is
the time.
scams don't last very long.
No,
They really don't.
no.
Like, look, when I was with a certain agency for a period, there were a couple of very skeptical accounts that we had reps on. And it was like, those accounts literally were only around for like 3 months, right? And like, you know, and then we would either cut ties being like, hey, this isn't what we think it is. And we don't think you guys are doing the right thing here. Or the business just folds because you can't go around scamming people for very long before people find out.
Exactly. There's a thing called Reddit.
It goes both ways.
Yeah, I mean, it just takes, like I say to everyone, like it just takes 2 seconds to educate yourself a little bit. Go and ask ChatGPT what things are, for instance, if you don't know. Go research, like go look on Reddit, go read, go inform yourself, go educate yourself before you have these opinions that are manufactured just because of beliefs that you have around your model of the world.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is when people try and throw like an entire industry as a scam, I think that's crazy.
Oh, yeah. I
You know what I mean? It's like, hey,
yeah.
the whole industry, it's like, what?
Well, that's what was crazy about these comments is like, we've helped doctors. Like one of my very best friends, like she hired me to help their chiropractic clinic. I worked with the chiropractor. She's a doctor. I worked with her. We built out a whole sales process around getting people to understand like why they needed to like actually buy a pack of these sessions. Like I knew nothing about like being a chiropractor, but I know about communication. I know how to connect with humans and I know how to like get problems connected to solutions so that people are like, yes, like I need this. I need to move forward.
Yeah. The amount of like doctors, like dentists, chiros, plastic surgeons that I have sold into sales training. There's so many of them because they're like, okay, I need to understand this. Like I need to learn how to better communicate with human beings to help them get the best of themselves.
Yeah. Oh, apparently I made up these job descriptions. I spent time writing out a full JD.
Thing, right? So like, with people like this, it's so funny like how much time they actually just put into the things to confirm their own preconceived notion. So it's like, you know, I couldn't tell this person apart from like a bar of soap, but like, because like you pulled me into it, right? I was like, all right, I'll get in there. You were like, hey, support me on here. I was like, okay. So like I started, you know, writing online on Facebook probably the first time in, I don't know, 15 years. And immediately it was like the mob. And it was like, suddenly I was getting researched on by like things that I'd done 6 months ago. I was like, man, you put a lot of work into researching into me. Like just research into what it is that you're talking about. It wouldn't even take you half as long and you'd be able to understand like, oh shit, there's a whole industry here. And then what they're doing is just helping get people the skills to go into the industry. Why do I think it's a scam? Anyway.
Like that's the thing though. Like there's actually no bad blood there. I get that sales has a bad rep. I get it. That's why I didn't own my label for so long because I knew how sales is perceived and we've all had bad experiences. I literally posted up in the She Sells community the other day. I was like, I posted a video of Robert, I've had a mention like Robert De Niro? Yeah, in the manager.
Okay.
Anyway, so he's a mafia gang guy and he's selling a car
Right.
And the people are like, all right, we're just going to go away and think about it. He's like, what do you need to think about? I've just spent the last hour with you talking to you about the car. You've been telling me it's great. What do you need to think about? They're like, well, it's a lot of money. Come on, it's not a lot of money. You can afford it. And then they're like, you can't talk to us like this. And he's like, yes, I can. Yes, I can talk to you like this. And he's like, I want to talk to your manager. And he grabs himself and he's like, talk to this. Anyway, I posted that in the group as a bit of a, like, we're laughing about it. And I was like, talk to me about any bad sales experiences that you've had. And, you know, there is hundreds of comments about people in shopping centers, like retail sales. That's a whole thing. Retail sales, like what they're told to do to get the sale, like how they're told to approach clients. Like, honestly, I should read some of those to you so people understand. So look, I do not blame him for thinking how he does, because everyone, their model of the world is based off things that have happened to them, things that they've read, things that have happened to their friends or their family. So you only know what you know. But my problem is the closed-mindedness. It's the inability to like educate yourself before having an opinion that affects somebody. I think that was my biggest problem with it.
Yeah. I think like people don't understand maybe the power that their words can have, not to the person they're necessarily speaking to, but just like other people around, right? Because generally like the loudest person, people will start to be like, okay, like he's the loudest, like do we listen to him? So it's like, it's kind of annoying because if you run around saying, hey, everything's a scam, people can't disseminate between the ones that are and the ones that aren't. So I think that's a bit annoying because it just dilutes, it makes everything look foggy, right? So people can't start to be like, hey, and the thing is like, if people label it like that, then people just see the loudest thing and they go, I'm not going to bother doing my research. I'm assuming this guy's already done it.
Yeah.
That's another thing that's, it is what it is, but it's unfortunate.
Well, yeah, we don't really care about his opinion anyway.
Exactly right.
And he's a man, which kind of just buys into it.
Fucking men. God damn it.
This is a sales training company for women to get away from men like that.
Ooh, I was going to say something controversial.
No, I just did.
Yeah, no. I was going to say, do you think that maybe he was just saying that because he didn't want women to be able to find that opportunity for themselves?
I don't know what his prerogative was. I have no idea. But like, anyway,
could be trouble for him.
Yeah. But here's the thing, guys. Okay, it's one of my favorite analogies. I love to use this in sales calls. You may have a husband or a partner who doesn't get it. You may. Like, let's be real. Okay? Do you remember after I had that phone call with our ex-housemate, who we love, but we didn't love back then?
We now do, yeah. At the time we had conflicting views.
Yeah. Anyway, I came out and I was like, oh my God, you'll never believe who called me.
Yeah.
So-and-so. And I was like, he wants me to like speak to the business owner about this like opportunity. I'm going to be selling like programs. What did you say to me, Scott? Be honest.
Yeah. Well, for one, it was pretty out there. Right?
No, don't justify. Just tell us what you said.
I can't actually remember what I said. I wasn't for it.
Brooke, that's a scam.
Okay. Well, did I say this exact words?
You literally said, Brooke, that's a scam.
There he was.
There he was. Now, those words, S-C-A-M, scam.
There it is. Too good to be true.
Yeah, what was scam? You said scam. And I was like, well, like, Scott, I'm going to talk to the business owner and I'm going to actually do what I just told people should do. Educate yourselves. Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't say yes. I didn't say no, but I'm open. I'm always open to opportunities.
Now, on that though, was I saying that the thing was a scam or was I saying that maybe the opportunity that was presented to you was a scam?
It doesn't matter.
Those are two different things.
Like, well, no, it really doesn't matter. I just told you the thing and you said it's a scam. You didn't. You weren't like,
I wasn't open to like
the
exploring.
Opportunity is a scam.
Yeah.
Like
I was
you just
off. All right, that makes sense.
You were pissed off.
I was just shit.
I mean, you're a man. No, I'm just joking. Could be two things that could be coming up for you though. Firstly, you're working your ass off.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. That's coming up.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a sec, but.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to say, because it's not just the fact that I was like, hey, this thing. It was like, hey, there's this thing where people are getting paid $20K a month.
Yeah.
That may have just been like, whoa, there
that's what
would
I
have
want to
been a
speak about in
few
a second.
things that just like came up for you. But anyway, met with the business owner. He showed me everything. He showed me the data. He showed me the top earners, what they were doing. And I was like, sign me the fuck up.
Yeah. So now let's go into my perspective.
Well, hang on, because I forgot what I was even sharing.
Well, what you're thinking of it, I'll tell you my perspective. So that was an initial shock, right? Which was like, this is when I was, what was I doing? I was driving the mutts, right? I was in the trucks. And here I am going and working away for 2 weeks at a time, working 12 hours a day. Look, I was on good money, right? What was I making? 120K, right? A week, a year, a week, imagine. It was fucking very good money. A month, right? A year, sorry. It's so confusing.
Get it right.
A year. So I was working my ass off. And then to hear that, I was like, nah, there's no way, right? And then I remember, and I think I've shared this a few times, but like, hey, just got to hear it again. I remember that first night that you were working in the garage, and this is our garage for context. I kind of knew that we were, I don't know, I remember I was like, I'm going to have some kind of online job. So we had no office at this point. Our house is pretty small. I went and set up the garage to be an office, which had no lighting because the light bulb blew. So I think I had a little lamp in there or something. I had a trestle table that I borrowed from your old man.
And some
like I don't think I had an actual chair. Was it milk crates?
It was milk crates.
It was milk crates. Okay,
because
cool.
that's how you did all your, I shouldn't say how you did all your little, but that's how you did the crypto. You went out there you were like in the crypto zone.
I was in the crypto zone on milk crates apparently. So yeah, that like, and then
I got you a chair. I remember doing that on Marketplace. Yeah.
So you went out there, you were out there for, I want to say like 30 minutes. And this was like 7 o'clock at night. We had Oki yet?
Yeah.
We had Oki. Yeah. I was inside with Oki, a beautiful little boy. And you come in 30 minutes and you're like, I just made $500. And I remember like in that moment, I was like, for one, I was like, what? I was like, you were literally in there for 30 minutes. And then I remember that was the exact moment where I was like, I'm doing the wrong thing here. Because I was like, I work 12 hours a day and I just make that. And I was like, I'm fucking in the wrong space here.
Well, like one guy that we know, he spoke about this in his podcast. He was like, why wouldn't I get all my best friends into this? He could see what he was doing and then he convinced every single one of his best friends to do the same thing. And now they all live in this big mansion together and they just sell.
Yeah.
Like, why would you not? Like,
But that's the thing, right? So like I kind of needed proof.
Yeah.
Right. But it's not because I was like, show me. It was just that I was like, no way is that possible.
Yeah.
But then I saw it and I was like, took 30 minutes and I was like, okay, get me in. Like I'm in.
Yeah. I remember what I was going to say. So yeah, I completely understand what you were saying now. And like at the time when he said it's a scam, I remember being like, stuff you, like, no, it's not a scam and I'm going to find out for myself and like, I've got this and I'm independent and I'm going to like make all this money. And I was mad that he couldn't see it. I was mad that he couldn't like see the opportunity for what it was and he had a negative spin on it. And for ages, I carried this resentment because I was like, he's not supportive of me. Like, he's like, you're taking time away from your son. Because my first month I made $400 and you bet he was like, see, told you, which was fair. Totally fair, because I was taking time away from Oakland when he was quite young. I think he was like only 4 months, maybe less. And when I was away in Mexico, there was this incredible speaker, Trent Shelton. And he was on stage and he was talking about like your vision. And I've used this in sales calls since because it's just so powerful. He talks about when you go get your eyes tested and, starts to get a bit blurry down the bottom and they're like, oh, you need glasses. They write you a prescription, you put the glasses on and you can see the world so clearly. Okay. Then it becomes a bit of a, gimmick. You come home, people are like, oh, let me try them on. Like, you got glasses, let me put them on. They put them on. What's the first thing they say?
I can't see anything.
Yeah. I can't. Oh my God, you're blind. I can't see anything.
In this?
Yeah. Ah, exactly right.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Because it's not prescribed for them.
Exactly. It's prescribed
their glasses
to you. And that's exactly the same as your vision. It's yours. No one else needs to or can see your vision. And that's okay. That's okay. So if we just circle back to what I was saying earlier about like, you may have a husband or a partner who doesn't get it, who thinks you're a little crazy, for exploring all of these
or a
online.
family member, like a parent.
Yes, anyone.
Friend, anyone.
And rather than like, having resentment and being like, angry that they can't see it, just accept it.
Just leverage that, right? Like you can leverage that. That's like a chip on the shoulder. It's like, okay, you don't think I'm going to succeed at this? Like, I'll show you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If that motivates you, for me, it's more like just showing kindness and empathy and just being like, it's okay that you can't see it. I understand that. Like, it's all good. Like I can though. And I'm not asking you to be able to see, but I'm asking you to support my vision.
And sometimes you won't actually get it.
Yeah, and sometimes you still won't. And and that's still okay because they can't see. And when they look through your glasses, they see a blurred vision. So like, it doesn't come from a place of like, it's not necessarily them being malicious or evil and being like, no, you will stay doing your 9 to 5. But they're just like, I can't see it. And therefore my mind is going to like, well, like what happens if you do that? And we go in, and they're starting to think of all the negative things, right? And that's not their fault. It's because they cannot see what you can see. It's blurry to them.
Ooh, I just had a thought then as you were saying, right? Because people always think of what happens if they fail. Very few people really think of what happens if they actually succeed though.
Exactly.
And sometimes I just take that moment. Someone's like, what if I fail? What if this doesn't work out? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happens? Something I always like to say to people when I use this on sales calls is like, hey, what would you do if you felt like you couldn't fail? And they're like, well, yeah, I'd fucking do it. It's like, okay. So like, what if you did succeed? What does that look like?
You know what I like to do?
Yeah.
Like especially in those moments where they're like, but what if I can't and this happens and this happens? I literally like to like lean in and I'm like, but what if you can? And just in that moment, like how many times have they heard that firstly?
Yeah, well, people are always telling you can't do things.
Exactly.
So it's very rare for someone to be like, hey, like you can do this. And like really think about what it looks like if you make this work for yourself. That's the crazy thing as well, is that like, if you really want something hard enough, you make it work. It might just be in a slightly different capacity than how you originally set out for, but you still get there.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you try something a few times, failing over and over again, and you don't figure it out.
You fail forward.
You fail forward, exactly.
Fail. Success.
It's the people that do the one thing half-hearted
and then call it
and
a
then
scam.
fail. Fuck, this doesn't work. Scam. Not going to try it again. See you later. Boom. I got scammed. I tried my hardest. It just didn't work.
Yeah. So in essence, is this a scam? No, it's not.
It's exactly what scammy people would say.
We've gone this big tangent around scams, but no, remote sales is an industry. By 2025, it's set to be a $25 billion industry, and women are on the forefront of this. They what on average do they sell? They sell what, 11% better than men?
I would have no idea.
There's a percentage. I will fact check that, but there is a certain percentage, and that's purely because we have natural assets that once we tap into, it just makes us like we're just more trusted.
Yeah,
we are.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. So just to clarify as well, She Sells has a combined total. So I have the Freedom Formula and I have She Sells. We have a combined total of 500 women wanting to learn how to be remote closers. Yeah.
Crazy. That's awesome.
I've got 279 in the She Sells community, and I've got 200 and I think it's like 42 in the Freedom Formula.
And you want to know the crazy thing is we still are barely able to fill the jobs for the businesses that are kicking down the door waiting for reps and women to be placed. Yeah. So
yeah, but also just you don't just come in and get a job. That's not how it works. You come in, you get role play proficient. We don't want to just place you out there to the wolves and then for you to realize, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. We do want to make sure you're ready to enter the world of remote sales so that you don't do what we just said, try one time, fail. I've tried that, it's not for me, which I actually still see.
Yeah.
Honestly.
No one wants to be the target. Everyone wants to be everyone wants to be the Chanel.
Exactly.
So that's the quality that we put out.
Exactly.
We're not a target, we're the Chanel.
Yeah. And business owners are becoming very, picky, and so they should. They don't want the targets either.
Yeah.
They don't want the offer hoppers. They want dedicated, committed business people.
Well, now that we've seen both sides, right, I can really understand it from a business owner's side of things as well. It's like you do put a lot of trust and you put a lot into the salespeople. So like you need the standard there. And I have seen some shocking salespeople.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like they can make or break businesses.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The sales is the lifeblood. It is the driving force of business. Without sales, there is no business. So if you have a weak or a shit sales team, like the business doesn't last very long, which is actually pretty sad. But it's one of the main reasons why we do what we do, because we want to put the Chanels out there.
Exactly right. Well, just before we wrap up, I thought it would be pretty fun to address if this comes up as an objection in a sales call.
Okay, let's do it. So Brooke, this sounds really good. I just, I don't know. I'm kind of scared it's a scam.
Okay, when you say you're scared it's a scam, like how do you mean?
Well, like I just don't want to get scammed. Like it kind of just sounds too good to be true.
Okay, like where is that way of thinking? Like where's that come from?
Well, I did this Shopify thing, a couple months back, and like I was told, hey, just pay this money, and then I'll just be able to have all this passive income and not have to do anything.
How'd that work out for you?
Well, I paid the money and here I am.
Okay. Would you be open to thinking slightly differently?
I would.
Well, would it be fair to say that, bad experiences are not necessarily bad decisions? Like if you were to think back to like the decision that you joined that Shopify program, like what was it?
I don't know. It was like they just done for you Shopify thing, but then it was like not really done for you. I had to like do all this work and I just...
Yeah, but why did you want to do it?
Well, because I wanted to make heaps of money and work less and not have to be in the mines driving a dump truck.
Right. Was that a bad decision?
Well, no.
Okay. So are you going to let a bad experience dictate the decisions that you make moving forward?
Well, I mean, I don't want to.
Okay. Let's just pause it there. So talk us through that. Like, what did you, like when I was asking you those questions, like were you having like moments where you were like, oh shit, that makes sense. Like, yes, like having your perspective change, which is the whole point of that. I defined it first. So I asked, like, when you say you don't want to be scammed, like, what do you mean? I got him to explain it because you should never assume. Once he explained it, I realized that he'd had a bad experience and that's why he's thinking that way. But I still asked him, like, where'd that way of thinking come from? And then I asked him if he's open to thinking a different way. And the best thing you can do is get them to understand that just because he had a bad experience, it doesn't necessarily mean the decision to do so was bad. So I took him back to that moment and I understood the decision. And you would have noticed when I first asked him, he was kind of like, still went to the negative. But I was like, but why? Why did you actually want to do it? Because I wanted to stop working in the mines. Okay. So are you willing to let a bad experience dictate the decisions that you make moving forward?
No.
No, he's not. Because then what would happen? He would continue working in the mines, which we've just identified that's not something he wants to do.
Exactly. I'd be the guy just sitting on the outside staring through the window. No one wants to be that guy.
No one wants to be that guy. Thank God for this big fat scam.
Alrighty, we'll wrap it up there, guys. I think that was a really important episode. I think that's an episode that will help a lot of people that are maybe hindered by seeing scam everywhere, and they're like, oh shit, I just don't know what to believe and what not to believe. So at the end of the day, guys, like make decisions based off informed decisions, right? I always use one really good analogy. I want to end on this, right? Which is like people have different opinions on things. It's another one. It kind of ties into scam, right? When it's like, well, I want to speak to other people that are doing the program. It's like, hey, are you married? Yes. Okay. And, let's suppose you take your wife out for dinner, right? I got my wife, Brooke. Now we go out for dinner, we go out and we go get some Indian food, for example. Now we order the exact same dish. The dish comes out, we sit down, we eat it. I'm spitting mine out and Brooke's going, oh my God, this is amazing, right? The difference is the food is really spicy. Brooke loves spicy food. I fucking hate it. It is the exact same food, two very different experiences. Now, if someone was asking me, hey, what did you think of that restaurant? I'm going, that's garbaggio. It's way too spicy. It's no good. Someone asked Brooke what they thought of that restaurant. She's going, that was fucking amazing. The spice was perfect. Are you going to allow my decision to dictate your decision? My experience to dictate your decision, or potentially having an amazing do?
And are you looking for Scott's answer, or are you looking for my answer?
That's the big one. Amazing. Alrighty, guys, we'll wrap it up there. Hopefully that was helpful. Stay safe, but also try things. Get out there, try things. Don't be scared. You would always much rather live a life knowing that you've done what you wanted rather than living a life of regret, thinking, what if?
There you have it, guys. Loved that session. Bye-bye.